YouTube, it's Tone. I'm back with another one for you. This one is a continuation of use of a bill of exchange. This is the fourth video. We got one more coming up, and then we're gonna get into another series that I got of the same shit, a little more elaborate as far as what you have to get done for like the UCC one and shit like that. But it's a more simplified version of what you would find on like One Man Out and things like that, because that is super detailed in One Man Out. Highly recommend you guys check that out. If you need the book, email me. It's free. It's like a lot of other shit that I do offer. It's on the house, right? And I get it back from the universe, whatever I put out anyway. So it really isn't free. And that's the crazy part. So let's get into this. And the next video, I'm going to do a recap from beginning to end, what it is UCC 1, UCC 3, all that shit, all the way up until here. And so you guys can get a good understanding and a good overview of what this all really is and what's really going on. So let's get into this bond right here. Let's talk about this. So right here we have, this is a bonded bill of exchange order. And it's bonded and certified funds because you have your financing statement, which is on your UCC, your UCC 1 essentially is going to be your private bank. So you're able to issue instruments based on the value of your lien that you have on your BC and Social Security account. That's going to be your private bank. So say I put a $200 million lien on my BC. That is now my private bank. That is now my, your straw man is brought from the public into the private. And then any credits issued are going to be from the private into the public. And that's going to be via a bonded bill of exchange or things of this nature. Also money orders and things like that, which is what we do a lot. I mean, I do a shit ton of money orders. I think I did like 7 million in like 18 months just now. That just passed. So, and that's just me personally without even really doing much work to actually get that done. So we'll see by the end of the year. I'd imagine probably upwards of 20 million at least. So right here, bonded bill of exchange order, bill of acceptance, time draft, not a security, not for discharge of public debt. So this is going to be on the public side. I mean the private side, right? Because ultimately, what you're going to be doing here is dealing with this matter privately. So what's going to happen is you're going to be dealing with the TTL department. That's the Treasury Tax and Loan Department. Now, mind you, I'm setting up mine. As soon as I get back to Mass, I'd say by like May or June, all right? I'll have my shit set up and I'll already be getting some of this process done personally. I haven't personally done this yet, but this is what I'm going to be doing because it is what it is, and it makes sense. So right here, so you're going to have your true name, secured party, drawer, Secretary of Treasury, Department of Treasury, Bank, ABA ledger. That's going to be your bill of exchange number. Is going to be the ABA ledger. And then no later than 15 days after receipt, please credit the account for account name and the creditor name, which mind you, you are the creditor, but you're going to allow them to pretend to be that so that way you can just go ahead and pay them off. So nobody's taking a loss here, and that's one thing that you guys need to know. You're not getting over, you're not fucking them over. None of that shit is happening. They're actually getting their credits, and you're going to be able to get your property, okay? Really that simple. It's not a fucking scam, all right? So this is private banking. That's what it is. So personal treasury UCC contract and trust account. So this is going to be your contract number. Either you're going to have one set up with them privately, or you can do like a TDA account, treasury direct account, something like that, and have your trust set up in a way. And mind you, we've already got our UCC and trust already set up. It's over in Washington. A lot of the things that we deal with are going directly through these agencies, all right? Specifically designed to handle these. So they know what they're doing, even though you don't. You know what I'm saying? The obligation of the drawee, acceptor, security of the Treasury through the bailee, which is going to be the person that works at the TTL department. Treasury Tax and Loan Department is going to be the bailee, the authorized agent of the claimant's financial institution, right? And so these are usually private contractors that are doing things like this as well. So it's not usually part of the actual bank, but it's going to be maybe like a private contractor working with them in the TTL department. So hereof arises out of the want of consideration for the pledge and by the redemption of the pledge under the public resolution, House Joint Resolution 192, Public Law 73-10, and the Guaranteed Trust Code of New York and Henwood. And so this is referencing a case number that you can go ahead and reference if you're going to use common law and case law in order to get this done. So represented by the attached claim accepted for value and bearing the account number of the creditor account number. So you can set up your bond with the Treasury Department privately. You can do it publicly with a TDA account. It's a lot of different options that you have. And ultimately, all of your remittances, receipts, and things like that are going to end up back in your trust and show back up as credit also. So so you never really lose money ever if you look at it like that. So the claim document order complies with UCC 3-104. The terms, which is the terms of payment tender and things like that. So that's UCC 3-104. So what this is going to do is put them in a position where they have to either accept it or reject it and discharge the debt anyway. So because they can't reject the payment. Okay. So the terms of the original contract hereby surrendered as said pledge is redeemed, discharged by the drawer through the attached document by acceptance for value and exempted for levy. So that's what I do too as well on my stamps. I accept it for value, and I also make reference to the fact that I am exempt from levy. So you're gonna see like a three-prong, what do you call it, movement in any of my stamps and documentation that we go ahead and send to the Treasury Department. So, and also, so it's a three-prong in the sense that I do this. So I'm exempt from levy, I accept it for value, and then what I do is also I pay out of my trust with a money order for them to go ahead and get paid, and then also I deposit the same amount into my trust as well. Because being a private banker, you're dealing with fractal banking and things like that. So when you create a money order, that instantly becomes a security which you can monetize and then fractalize that as well too. So that's going to be 10 times the actual amount. It's 10x. When you see people talking about that's what it is. It's fractal banking. But I don't really go that far. I leave room for the Treasury to actually sell it and make some money too, right? So I get 3 out of that, and they get about 7. So you see what that is. So I mean everybody wins. So what do we got? Federal regulations require claimants' financial institution to accept this bill, sign and present directly via certified or registered mail, return receipt to the Secretary of the Treasury, Department of the Treasury on drawer's UCC contract and trust account. Okay, which everybody already has set up, but you can also set up your own. I have like 3 different ones already. So unless the original negotiable instrument is dishonored in writing within 15 days of receipt by the Secretary of the Treasury's claimant financial institution is to release the credit on the hold to the payee, the claimant, within the time stipulated by Regulation Z, Truth in Lending Act, or on the date designated, whichever is later. The amount of this accepted draft is to be ledgered by the claimant's financial institution, the TTL department, to the designated account for the discharge of this claim, Regulation Z. So this is really going to get processed as like a check or something like that. If they're familiar with doing that, that's what that's going to be really. So the bond number, right, and that'll be whatever you put it at there too as well. So I mean these are numbers that you're going to go ahead and create. So if it's your first one, maybe 001. So these are certified funds, certified in the sense that they can go ahead and verify them by typing in your UCC filing, and that's going to show the actual amount of funds that are in your account, which is indicated by the amount of debt and whatever the lien is. That is the amount of money that you have inside your bank, because debt is money. Okay, so notice the relating to principal and agent applies. So the Bailey's signature here, authorized TTL agent, is going to sign this, accept it at the bank, the city, the state, documents filed with the DTB. So to be processed as a check, do not present for collection. So the amount to be discharged, you're going to have them on the 4 corners, okay? Because that is land. The paper is the land, so that's going to be on the 4 corners. So what do we got here? So let's see what we got. So letter of advice. Important bank and treasury routing instructions require special handling. And you might, if you're dealing with smaller banks, you're going to probably have to like direct these people as to how to get this shit done. If they do have a TTL department, more than likely they'll know how to process this. But these things here are more than likely usually done at like bigger Federal Reserve banks that are used to dealing with promissory notes and things of that nature. Smaller banks are probably not going to be doing that much because they're dealing more with poor people who just probably throw their money in and throw their receipts away. Okay, so promptly mail via certified mail, return receipt, the signed instrument with these documents to Mr. John Snow, whoever it is over there, at the Secretary of the Treasury Department, Department of Treasury, 1500 Pennsylvania Ave, Northwest Washington, D.C. Don't send them any stupid shit over there either, because people that actually do this correctly send their stuff there too. So don't go fucking it up by sending them just dumbass shit that you don't even know what you're doing. Okay. One of the reasons why I don't like giving out these addresses too is for that reason. So notice Processing of bill of exchange, BA time draft. I am in receipt of the attached offer requesting payment. Please find attached the bill of exchange. The processing of this, which will discharge the entire current amount stated on the claim herein accepted for value. This attached negotiable instrument is presented under authority of HJR 192, Public Law 73-10, and UCC 3-104, which is tendered, payment tendered. So, and then this makes reference to other cases as well. So you have case law to back this up as well, on top of the fact that it actually works, okay? So the UCC contract trust account, following are the steps required by the regulation to settle this account. This is not a treasury security, nor involving a treasury direct bond account. So that would be like a TDA, right? Nor is this instrument to be processed through the Bureau of Public Debt. I mean, you don't have to put that there. You let them, process this however they feel, okay? Because I mean, ultimately, once you give this to them, it's theirs and they can do whatever they want with it. So you don't have to put all this shit and tell them how to process it so much, whether or not it's public debt, private, whatever, okay? So, and these are certified funds, certified in the sense that they can type in your UCC number and find that it's actually there. And if you don't have a UCC and you decided to go private, right, you can do that as well. And then that would be filed at the county and things like that. You make a record and that would be your reference number there. So the attached negotiable instrument is in accordance with UCC 3-104, payment tendered, and complies with the terms of the original contract. The following process must be followed to the letter in order to satisfy the claimed amount due to this account and discharge of this debt. 2. My personal UCC contract trust account has been established with the Department of the Treasury and may only be accessed with my approval through the bank account of the claimant directly to the Secretary of the Treasury drawee. And so before you do this, you want to go ahead and notice overnight, you want to notice the Treasury that you're going to be, in fact, issuing instruments. So to expect to have a communications with the agency that you're going to be dealing with, okay? So 3. The original negotiable instrument is certified and must be presented by claimant's financial institution, TTL department, via certified or registered mail. Return receipt directly to Secretary of Treasury or his successor, Department of Treasury. The item processor at claimant's financial institution with full identification and Bailey authorized TTL agent. It has to be a Treasury Tax and Loan Department agent. Signature is to present the original negotiable instrument along with the instruction, notice, and the stamped claim to the Secretary of the Treasury Department of the Treasury at the above address. 5. Claimant's financial institution is to put a hold on claimant's deposit, special deposit, retain the document copies, and await the return receipt card from the federal window, noting the date the original negotiable instrument was received at the federal window in accordance with the public and banking policy for out-of-state transactions. The UCC and banking regulations stipulate 15 days. So that's how many days you're going to go ahead and give them, right? Because you don't want to go over or under. You want to, because this is all legal, you want to just stick with the, stick to the letter of the law here, which is what they should do too, but they don't always fucking do that. So that's why you need to know what the law is so you can put them in their place if you ever have to, because they're not going to, you know what I'm saying? So number 6, the copy of the negotiable instrument is to be held at the financial institution until the required period for the federal window, Regulation J, and Federal Reserve, Regulation Z. Now, you know what's funny is that when you pay attention to what you see in, the mainstream media as far as artists go and things like that, Jay-Z, right? I mean, everybody knows a rapper there, right? So Regulation J and Regulation Z, Jay-Z. Okay, so what you're going to see is that they're always trying to tell you something. There's hints everywhere. If you open your eyes, everybody's trying to tell you this, okay? But they can't tell you that probably because they're part of a secret organization and shit. I'm not, so I'm going to fucking tell you, okay? So J and Z, Truth in Lending, 12 USC. The order property has passed. On the 16th day, the full face amount of the negotiable instrument is to be released by the local financial institution's TTL department and credit the claimant's account for the discharge of the claim. 7, to ensure the claimant's financial institution receives full credit to their TTL account, which they will get the FedWire transfer, okay? Claimant's financial institution is to take the retained copies of this letter of advice, the copy of the original claim and accept it for value, the copy of the original bill of exchange, and enclose these documents with the institution's next remittance of estimated taxes to the Internal Revenue Service before enclosing these documents with the remittance, the institution's bailee. So you're going to send this in to them anyway, right? So the people who really wouldn't want to process this are the people who are just like broke car dealers and shit like that who need their money right now. Anybody who already has money is not going to have a problem with this because it's the same thing as getting a check and they just send it into the Treasury and they get their FedWire transfer. It's the same shit, okay? Or maybe they just don't know about it, whatever. But either way, they're fucking losing. I'll tell you that right now. Because if you're gonna reject this because you don't know what it is, but you could just like literally get all your money, then you're a fucking idiot. To be honest with me. So I mean, that's just what it is. So must endorse the copy of the original bill of exchange on the top reverse side of this instrument. If the Secretary of the Treasury drawee sends notice in writing of some sort of some error or problem, please notify the undersigned immediately upon receipt of such notice, and the matter will be addressed. You will be notified of the correct action taken. I hereby request that you notify the undersigned here when the required time period of the federal window and the Federal Reserve under Regulation J and Z have transpired, the ledgering completed, and the account adjusted by the claimant's bank. Thank you for the cooperation in getting this account settled and the claim discharged. So, and there has to be a notice of defect as well. So if they're going to reject anything that you send them, there has to be a notice of defect there. Or else, and they have to send that shit back to you. Or else they're fucking stealing it. Which they do a lot of the time. They'll tell you that they can't fucking accept it, but they go ahead and fucking deposit it anyway. So make sure that you get that shit back if they don't send that shit back with a fucking notice of defect on it. Okay? So certificate of service. So this is what you're gonna send with that. You can put you can get a notarizer. You can have a friend do this as well too. So you're gonna see in the next video what this really is too. So you don't always have to have it notarized. You can get like a two more parties to go ahead and witness it and sign it as well. So the papers identified: the bonded bill of exchange, the letter of advice, the invoice, the statement of account, which is basically the payoff bill, and then the copy of the certificate of service. But I would go ahead and get this shit notarized and send it all via notary as well anyway. But by emailing them in postage prepaid envelope addressed to the recipient named above, bearing certified mail number, BOE, true name, and obtaining a receipt from the post office clerk. My mailing location is: I am over the age of 18 and not a party to the transaction regarding the papers mailed. So this is just a witness statement, essentially, is what that's going to be, in case you got to bring these dickheads to court, because you may. And I would tax the fuck out of them, bro. If you're not going to take my shit and I got to bring you to court, bro, that shit just got multiplied by 10, which you're going to have to pay out of your pocket. I promise you that. So, certificate of service, this is going to be the same thing as well. So, this is just like another duplicate document of what I just read to you. So, in the next video, we're gonna go top to bottom, beginning to end, how this shit works, and wrap up this particular video here. So, that's what I got for you for now. It is a game of chess. Stop playing checkers with these clowns. Until we meet again.